Hello there, welcome to Top Frost News. We'll be doing another one. Now, it is currently around 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time when I was recording this, May 21st, 2026. I have a lot to talk about, which I finally feel it should be a thing that should be spoken about more of. It is the Super El Nino event that is projected to be the strongest, some of the strongest in 150 years. Not the strongest. Of course, the title is clearly sensationalized for engagement, but around at the point, this is not undeniable that the Super Alien event will be happening across around, let's say, around fall, on autumn season of how it is, I think around November, and some people have been discussing about it, about what it will do because of the economy, and the economy is clearly not suited and ready for such an event. And at the moment, lots of different things are going on at once, and the world is clearly not in a place to be able to handle such event. Which, by the way, throughout the 1800s, the very similar one happened a long time ago, and there was a few different other super El Ninos, but this one would be consequentially some of the very strongest ones. And now, weather scientists correct me on things that I might not understand. You can fact check me. I'm not clearly a weather scientist, but I know how El Nino happens to affect things, and when things are not exactly economically, systematically prepared, it sure won't last long before people are generally hurt. Famine, drought breaks out, and people in chaos start, people start dying legitimately. Around looking below below the surface. Okay, let me read this post. Looking below the surface in the equatorial Pacific is possibly the most impressive law of above average ocean temperatures we've ever recorded since we've had the ability to measure this stuff. That's on their end, right? Some of their best. When that enormous concentration of backwater reaches the surface over the coming weeks and months, it's going to release devastating consequences around the globe throughout the second half of the year. Get ready for severe droughts in parts of South America, Africa, and Australia, devastating monsoons in southern China, and a warm southern jet all winter long in North America. When you combine this with the fertilizer crisis bubbling as a byproduct of current global events, there's going to be a crop failure on a level most of us have never seen during the closing months of 2026. Hard to see how we avoid widespread deadly famines across multiple stretches of the planet at this point. This is a not such a good sign. Now, if somebody who knows how to read these types of graphs, and please tell me how this thing works, I would love to know. At the moment, there is a lot of issues that come with how Donald Trump is cutting off the education, basically weather science, lots of forms of different science, of course, geology, weather science being essential, and rescue funds like for the NOAA and FEMA is certainly being tackled and also being cut by this very dictatorship that I live through in with now and today. This dictatorship that Donald Trump currently administers, I understand why only a few people like Matthew Gross understand just how bad this whole combination of a super El Nino on top of a out of control climate change plus fertilizer shortages and energy crisis all hit at the same time is actually going to be. It kind of reminds me of the flooding situation that forecasters were warning about in the Carolinas ahead of Helene. Everyone was just kind of like, okay, we get it, it's not that bad, just a bit of rain. But nobody could have comprehended just how terrible the situation was until 3 to 4 days later, after all the missing people couldn't be found alive. If you have any friends in the places around the world where famine could hit this later this year, please make them aware of how bad it's going to get and make sure they have a plan to stay alive. At the moment, I have to go look into this, and then I have to look into this, and it does say that this is going to be a very consequential weather event that's going to occur across globally. And if we aren't prepared for such, then things will get much worse because we already have a water crisis due to the data center mishaps that are going on. People are furious about these data centers. I already saw a clip. Literally, I think it's on my. I reposted it on my other page, where it was just Alexandria Ocasio Cortez basically showing jugs of water, of drinking water, and they were brown. Right? Data centers are not exactly going to be helping the economy or keeping us safer from climate change. Climate change is a real thing. It's felt economically, systematically, sociologically, and mentally. Like, just based on what you eat, what you water you want to drink, what food is available from farms, how much the food is able to be made for an entire country. That affects water across an entire country. It makes droughts happen, famine starts to happen. If you're impoverished, well, you're screwed. So, as somebody like me who has been currently going on this entire thing online, right? Basically trying to get followers on Twitter. Out of all platforms, I started to actually generally try to get followers on Twitter. I wanted to basically use this platform in order to bait people on, but also use this, right, along with different alternative news sources to look at both sides of the story. And currently, lots of people are completely unaware of what's going to happen with the super El Nino that will possibly happen around late at the end of the year at 2026 when hurricane season does happen to come back once again, because hurricane season will be basically coming back, but really a bit different because Donald Trump cut lots of different things. So at the moment, with those cuts, a lot of what people are able to be rescued by is definitely going to be affected, along with emergency response, the speed of response, and how much it costs. So I believe that we might have some deaths that are preventable that will be happening real soon within these next few months. Because USAID, by the way, was cut by the Trump administration. So a lot of people in those countries where they were relying on USAID for that aid are going to be in very big trouble. South America is definitely going to suffer some famine and drought, and it's going to get real bad because they already have protests, and a lot of governments in South America, Africa, and Australia are currently going through turmoil at the moment. So there's that. Anyhow, I just wanted to make a quick report on that. If you like videos like these, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and that will be it because I just wanted to make a quick report on this. I hope everybody's paying attention because this is not looking good.